right now.
What began as a small fire quickly grew into a raging wall of flames, destroying 2 homes overnight. We'll give you the latest on injuries and why investigators are racing to uncover the cause.
We're hearing directly from the woman who was handcuffed and removed from a local school board meeting. You saw this video yesterday. Why she is facing serious charges and how her nonprofit is now demanding answers.
And an animated exchange between Spurs Jesus and Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones. This morning, the future of a new Spurs arena hangs in the balance as City Council gets ready to decide what's next for San Antonio.
Boy, that conversation rocked this newsroom yesterday.
Just when you think you've seen it all in this business,
yeah,
we give you that.
Hopefully they get it together, though.
We're going to find out a lot here in the coming hours as we welcome you into GMSA on this Thursday. Thanks so much for being with us.
Let's get right over to meteorologist Justin Horn. Today, the best chance for rain, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're going to see some scattered downpours later this afternoon. It could be some pockets of heavy rain, maybe some lightning and thunder later today. Let me show you the authority radar as it stands right now. We actually do have activity out there at this hour. Now, it's mainly up across parts of Edwards and Valverde counties. This is a lot of rural areas, but there could be some heavy rain mixed in here. We're certainly detecting some lightning strikes. This will work its way towards Rock Springs here within the next hour or so, so we'll watch that. Nothing here around San Antonio, but as we look further north, there are some showers up to our north, and this energy is going to sink south today, and that's why I think we have some decent chances for rain. Let me show you the forecast here. So 8 a.m., 78, just a 20% chance of a shower or two. By 10 a.m., kind of the same story. It's around the lunch hour where we start to bring the rain chances up 40%, and then by 2 o'clock, a 60% chance of rain, so not bad. High temperatures today will also be cooler because we have the clouds and that chance for rain, a high of 94. We do have more rain chances tomorrow as well. We'll detail that. The weekend forecast, we'll have more on that coming up here in just a couple minutes. Guys.
All right, very good. All right, and a housekeeping note, RJ is going to be on Project Marvel duty for us today. He's been just doing amazing work with all of that. So Japhanie and I and Alex will handle the traffic for you here. But right now, as it's pretty quiet, we're just cycling through some of the cameras here at 90 at Leon Creek. Just the typical construction, overnight construction that RJ's talked about at length for a long time now. But nothing major in the way of accidents right now. Of course, Justin alluded to the weather later on, so maybe want to have the umbrella handy, and we'll continue to keep an eye on the weather conditions throughout the day as it relates to traffic. But right now, pretty quiet.
Yeah, we do have our very own photojournalist Alex Gomez out and about on the roadways for us on this Thursday, and it looks like he's at a scene. Alex, what are we looking at?
Yeah, good morning, Japhanie. I'm just seeing a police presence right here off the interchange of I-35 near Military, actually. And I'm going to see if they're going to block off any roads, but right now it just looks like it could be a minor accident or minor incident over here. So I'll let you know if anything happens, but right now it's all over here on the Valero, so it's not blocking any roads as of right now, but I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated, Japhanie.
All right, Alex, thanks so much, man. Stay safe, and of course, we'll check back in with you throughout the show.
Right, new this morning, firefighters raced to a fire that spread to 2 homes, and then things quickly escalated. According to fire officials, the flames jumped a fence and spread to 2 homes on the next block. They told us that one appeared to be vacant and for sale, while the other was occupied. Both homes were severely damaged, and officials say they are likely total losses. Now, no one was hurt. Investigators are still working to determine the cause of that fire. Well, this morning we are hearing from the woman who was taken out of a local school board meeting in handcuffs the other night.
Yeah, Maribel Gardea, she's been charged with criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and then disrupting a meeting on Tuesday night. Well, she's the executive director of Mindshift Ed, which is a nonprofit dedicated to helping families advocate for their kids' education. Well, during that public comment at an Edgewood ISD board meeting on Tuesday night, Gardea signed up to speak on a presentation about student safety, and she was given 4 minutes to speak in total. Ended up going over because of the confusion with timing, but when her mic was cut off, Edgewood ISD police approached her and escorted her out.
Now, video we got from someone there shows her right there in handcuffs being walked to a police car. Telemundo spoke to her as she left the Bexar County Jail yesterday. Her nonprofit is now demanding action.
I wanted parents to feel comfortable to voice their opinions, and then this happens.
We want the charges to be dropped on Maribel.
Now, not every bystander at the board meeting Tuesday night agreed, including this person.
She refused to leave, and that's when she became arrested.
Now, in an email statement sent to KSAT on Tuesday night, Superintendent Dr. Eduardo Hernandez says that Gardea's actions were, quote, not in alignment with the board's procedures and requiring her removal. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office says that the 3 charges still stand as of Wednesday night. We got a Pearsall Intermediate teacher's assistant out of a job this morning. District says that she got busted for sending inappropriate text messages to a student. Pearsall police say Alexandra Beriles has been under investigation since last week. But as of this morning, she faces no charges. Investigators have sent the phones involved in this situation to the Secret Service to extract more information. But even though no charges have been filed yet, school officials decided to terminate Beriles' employment after speaking with her and the student who were involved.
Just kids, she clearly took, I guess, advantage of them, and, I think it's just crazy because how can you do that in a school?
Knowing that it happened at your child's school, how does that make you feel?
Definitely unsafe and, unsettling knowing that, anybody can just do that in the school.
The district is urging any students and parents with information to reach out to Pearsall Police.
All right, 5:06 now. It's a huge day for the future of a possible new Spurs arena. City staff and Spurs officials have agreed on a $1.3 billion plan, part of the bigger Project Marvel.
Yeah, this morning, the City Council will vote on a set of terms, but we want to make it clear the terms are not a legal contract. And Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones wants to wait until a new economic study is done and more community meetings happen before moving forward.
And yesterday, as you might have seen, business leaders showed up to support passing the terms right in front of City Hall. But then the mayor surprised everyone. She stepped into the crowd to push for a pause on the project. Again, things got a little tense when the mayor clashed with Spurs superfan many of you know as Spurs Jesus.
Go Spurs, go! Spurs Jesus, you had a question?
They've never said that. Hold on, we've never said that. What would you do if they did leave? We've never said that, but that's not the question.
That was my question.
So the continues to be one of our top trending stories on KSAT.com. And we went out and spoke to a few people about how they feel about today's vote and the new development.
They've got to start somewhere, so they might as well start to at least start looking at it, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if they don't vote on it then they're not going to vote on it next time, and they're just going to keep delaying and delaying. So I would say they vote yes on it.
We've put so many deals together for the Spurs. If they don't appreciate it and they're going to leave, I can live with them leaving. It won't kill me.
So many different opinions on this. The terms of this deal include capping the city and county shares of funding at $489 million and $311 million, with the Spurs covering at least $500 million plus any overages.
So the team would also pay rent on the arena and guarantee nearby development, which would help fund the city's share through visitor taxes and lease payments.
This is a story we will be following. Again, got team coverage on it throughout today, and then that's where our very own RJ Marquez will be. He's going to be live on GMSA Plus, and then at 8:30 with a preview of what's going down.
Hey there, good morning. Time right now, 5:08. Here's your morning headlines. Texas is one step closer to making a bill that could potentially send 5 more Republicans to Congress. The State House just passed a redistricting bill. The move follows a 2-week standoff when Democrats fled the state to block the measure. They criticized the bill strongly, saying it gives more power to some people and reduces the voting power of non-white voters. But Republicans backed by President Trump argue the new map strengthened their political chances. The bill now heads to the Senate. Once approved by the Senate, Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign that bill into law. In response to the map, House Speaker Dustin Burrows released a statement saying in part, quote, "This work has helped us deliver the legal remedied map Texas voters deserve." Today's passage of the congressional map has ushered in a new chapter of Republican unity, and I am proud to have led my colleagues in this important achievement, end quote. Congressman Joaquin Castro also released a statement on the new map saying in part, quote, "The Texas House has now passed a racist and illegal congressional maps that robs all Texans of their voice. They have opened the country's eyes to Trump's attack in our voting rights and galvanized people across the country to speak out," end quote. Well, the FAA is investigating after part of a Delta airline wing partially broke off during a flight on Tuesday. The flight departed from Orlando and landed safely in Austin, Texas, which was a scheduled destination. Passengers said they noticed something had partially broken away from the wing during the flight. In this video that you're seeing right there, you can see the flap dangling behind the wing. In a statement, Delta confirmed there was an issue with the flap and said the plane was taken out of service for maintenance. There were 62 passengers and 6 crew members on board. The good thing is no one was reported injured.
Scary stuff. Thank you, Patty. Outside with Live Cam, it is 5:10, 78 degrees. We've got quiet conditions as it stands right now here in San Antonio. Quiet morning commute, I think. But we've got a boundary off to the north, and we should see activities start to increase as we get later into today. We'll show you the newest forecast coming up.
All righty, sir. San Antonio Charter School closed days before school started, and teachers still have not been paid. What they are facing and what comes next.
A federal judge just hit pause on a Texas law that would have forced the 10 Commandments into every public school classroom, while the judge said the law crosses the line. Welcome back. It is 5:14. We got a federal judge who has temporarily blocked Texas law requiring 10 commandments be displayed in all public school classrooms. Well, this law was set to go into effect on September the 1st. Well, in his ruling, the judge wrote that the state did not attempt to limit the use of the 10 commandments to relevant course curriculum. He also wrote that the state requirement crosses the line from exposure to coercion. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton released a statement saying that he does plan on appealing this injunction, that if appealed, the case will go to the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals and could eventually end up at the Supreme Court.
Just days before the start of the new school year, a San Antonio charter school closed its doors. But now, former summer school teachers at Bexar County Academy say they still have not been paid, and they're not sure if they will. 8 summer school teachers from Bexar County Academy say their final paychecks are now more than a month late. The school voluntarily surrendered its charter to the Texas Education Agency on July 31st. The school's board of directors did not announce that decision until days before the supposed start of the school year. Some teachers told us that they've been left struggling to cover basic expenses, with no clear answers on when or if they will be paid.
I literally had to ask for a handout and say, hey, can you help me with my electric bill? Because I can't pay it.
I had to go get assistance for everything. I was even facing eviction.
My parents that have been helping me. And without them, I don't know if I would have been able to make it.
The TEA originally stated that they do withhold certain funds when closing a charter as part of an audit, but that they do not withhold payroll. We have sent them follow-up questions and are waiting to hear back, and we have also left multiple voicemails for the attorneys who represent Bexar County Academy's board of directors.
All right, let's take a look outside to see how we're doing from Trans Guy's perspective. Again, our very own RJ Marquez is going to be coming in later on at 8:30 to talk Project Marvel stuff. So we're taking on the traffic. Right now, we're looking at I-35 in Martin. You see, got some flashing lights back there. Looks like a little bit of construction going on. Traffic's moving along just right there at Loop 410 and WW White. On this Thursday morning, things are looking great and crash-free right there at I-10 West and Loop 1604 as well.
Okay, well, last time we saw Alex Gomez, he was at looks like a convenience store parking lot with a couple of fire trucks in front of him. Let's find out where he is and what's happening right now, Alex.
Yeah, good morning, Ernie. So I think everything's okay right now. That was on the southwest side, I-35 at Southwest Military, and it was all isolated to that Valero. So none of the streets are closed, and the main lanes of I-35, which is right next door, still open and looking okay. I am now more west. This is going to be 90 westbound near Military Drive, and this side of town on the west side is looking okay, but I'm still making my rounds, Ernie.
All right, very good, sir. So we'll continue to keep an eye on Drive Cam and have more coming up with Alex Gomez.
All right, let's take a look at what's going on weather-wise here across the state. We've got a boundary that sits just to the north of San Antonio. Along that, we are seeing development this morning in parts of Valverde County, Edwards County. Nothing here in San Antonio right now. We will be watching for some activity a little bit later today as this boundary is seeing south. We've got some energy coming in. A lot of ingredients at play here. We've got some good moisture too, so that's why we're encouraged about rain chances. Still, I will caution you, not everyone's going to get rain today. It'll still be hit or miss type stuff. I just think the coverage will maybe be a little bit better than what we've seen in days past. So there is a look at the Authority radar right now, we see some lightning strikes up there north of Rock Springs, some activity there in Valverde County where we do have a flood advisory in effect. That will go for a little bit longer because we have seen some instances where we've seen perhaps up to 2 inches of rain there around the Devil's River State Natural Area. And we'll probably see a little bit more before it's all said and done. You see some of the heavier rain there in northwestern Edwards County. This particular cell, and I'll put this into motion. Strong storm, not severe, but it is going to sink south towards Rock Springs, so we'll keep an eye on that too. That's where all the activity is right now. Let's see what happens a little bit later today. And this is just one computer model. They all have kind of different scenarios unfolding today, but I think this is probably the most likely scenario where we start to get a little bit more activity during the afternoon. This is around 5 o'clock, and then as we get into this evening, still some storms around. And just know the evening commute could be affected, after-school activities, much like what we dealt with 2 days ago, where there may be some lightning strikes around, which would keep folks from practicing football practice, those kind of things. Rainfall totals, if you get underneath one of these heavier storms, just like this morning, there could be 1 to 2 inches in spots, which would lead to some minor street flooding. And also we could see some brief, strong wind gusts. That really has been pretty common with these storms over the last couple days. So our forecast hour by hour, mostly cloudy this morning. I will put in a 20% chance of rain this morning to account for anything that pops up, but the better rain chances start to arrive midday, and then we bump it up to a 60% chance by the afternoon. Temperatures will be kept down because of the clouds and that potential for rain, so we're going to call for mid-90s for highs. Tomorrow, more scattered downpours during the afternoon, 40%, 95 on a Friday. Then the weekend comes along and it's much quieter, just a 20% chance. And I think that's probably mainly along the coast on Saturday, 97. Sunday is dry, 98. I think the first half of the week probably quiet and really pretty hot next week. But then by the middle part of next week, we may get some more activity coming in with some rain chances returning. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning is very, very random, I know. It's because as I was driving home from school yesterday, my daughter asked me, because we had our dog in the car, how many toes does a dog have?
Aww.
What?
And
I actually did not know the answer to this. So here are your choices.
Whoa, hold on.
And this is how many toes does a typical dog have? Now keep in mind they have 4 legs. Is it 16, 18, 20, or 22?
Okay, you're adding all. You're adding all 4 legs together.
In total.
Okay.
In total.
So even if that's the case, are you counting the little bitty palm thing that they have? Is that considered a toe? You know, the little bitty. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think I got
So
this.
KSAT.com/poll. Scan the QR code. Most random question yet.
Yes. Hey, it's okay. Little dog and their toes, little corn chips. Here we go.
Nobody said there would be math this early in the morning.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, we'll get there in a little while. Thank you, sir. 521, 78 degrees outside.
Okay, we need to get ready because gamers, Microsoft just set the launch date for its new Xbox handheld hitting the shelves soon. Plus, Sony is raising the prices on all PlayStation 5 models starting today. What this means for your gaming gear and your wallet.
In today's Tech Bites, Google's new line of Pixel phones. Artificial intelligence front and center in the Pixel 10 lineup. A new feature called Magic Queue will suggest text to add while typing out text or using an app. The basic models start at $800. Microsoft just announced its handheld gaming PC, the Xbox Ally, will be released on October 16th. The company also launching an app that will show users which games run well on the devices. No official word on a price, but multiple reports suggest it'll start around $550. And speaking of video games, Sony now hiking the price of all PlayStation 5 models by $50 starting today. The company points to the current challenging economic environment for the increase. This comes just 2 weeks after Nintendo raised the price of the original Switch console. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm ABC's Lionel Moise. Have a great day.
Hey, Devin, what are you doing?
just having one of my favorite donuts from San Antonio, and we here at KSAT want to hear your favorites in San Antonio. That's why voting for KSAT's SA Picks is open. Check out all the different categories you can vote for your favorites around town, whether it's your favorite gym, your favorite food, your favorite kind of food, heck, even your favorite museum. It's all here online at KSAT.com. If you want to vote for it, just go to the link in our bio and you'll get a chance, because we want to know what's the best of the best in Alamo City.
There you go, Devin. Okay, so as you said, voting is now open. That QR code that you see on your screen, take your phone out right now, scan it to choose your favorites. And again, you can vote each category once per day. I'm excited to see what the results will be, because I need to check out some of the favorites that are around town.
That's just so many tough choices.
Yeah.
How do you pick?
Exactly.
All right.
We're looking at 526 right now, 78 degrees outside.
All right, coming up this week on Connect with the Council, I spoke with District 3 Councilwoman Phyllis Villagrán to talk Spurs, Project Marvel, and what's next for San Antonio's future. Stay with us for her inside perspective ahead of today's big council votes.
Plus, we got a school voucher program could mean big savings for families with multiple kids or children with disabilities. How one local group is helping parents get ready to sign up. Coming up on 5:30 right now on this Thursday, almost at the end of the week. But again, if you're up with us, thanks so much for starting your day off with GMSA.
And the grass in a lot of parts of San Antonio is remarkably still a shade of green.
They're having their share of thirst.
Mine is not.
Okay.
But,
well, I said some parts. I said.
But yeah, you're right. There's still some leftover moisture. In the last few days, have been pretty good for us. We've had some showers and storms. We may get some more again today. Let me show you the authority radar, where we've got some storms up there around parts of Verde and Edwards County. And some of these are packing a punch. I mean, we got a few lightning strikes with this particular cell, which is in northern Edwards County. Now, it is kind of drifting south. It may miss Rock Springs, and really this is rural areas that we're talking about, but it may cross over 377 here. We will watch. It's not severe, but it's likely putting down some good rain. But what we're watching here, kind of a boundary somewhere in here, and we're starting to get some new development here around Junction. That will eventually sink south. So these are all things we're watching. At the moment, though, here in San Antonio, there is not much going on. It's just actually cloud-free. I just stepped outside, and there is not a cloud in the sky. It was over KSAT 12. 78 degrees at the airport, 75 New Braunfels, 79 Converse, 70 in Bernie, 81 right now at Stinson. So still pretty warm this morning, and we have plenty of moisture and humidity to work with today. Here's how I think it plays out. We will call it mostly cloudy, although I think clouds will kind of take some time to build in here. 20% first half of the morning, and then by midday we up the rain chances to 40%, and then a 60% chance later today. Bottom line, be prepared to dodge some downpours. It won't be raining all day, but you could see some gusty winds, some lightning and thunder with any of these storms that develop. Expect a high temperature right around 94 this afternoon, guys.
Okay, very good. We're back outside here at 5:31 to show you the traffic on a Thursday. Again, pretty quiet. Looking at the TxDOT website, again, just construction, which we've seen this in typical places on the major highways and everything, but no accidents to see right now. Pretty quiet there, 281 at Donella. And again, well, that's our frozen camera. So disregard 98 military, but otherwise looking pretty good.
All right, photojournalist Alex Gavez out and about again on the roadways. Your eyes on the road, see how your commute is looking like. Alex, where are you located? What you seeing?
Well, right now I'm on the far west side, Jaffney. This is going to be 1604 northbound right near Braun Road, and I'm not tracking any incidents as well. And Justin's right, I'm seeing no clouds out here, so driving conditions are excellent. Dry roads for the commute this morning.
Conditions right there. Okay, thanks so much, Alex. We'll check in later.
Okay, 5:32 now. Happening later today, families looking to find out more about the new education savings accounts or school vouchers can attend a town hall meeting put on by a nonprofit.
So this new law goes into effect in September, but the money will not be beneficial to families until 2026-27 school year. Patty Santos joining us this morning right now, with it's the time for families to do their research, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Hey there, good morning. So the families that have children with disabilities and those with siblings are at the top of the list to be prioritized. Then it's low-income families, middle class, and others. The School Discovery Network, a local nonprofit, is hoping to get families ready to register for the Education Savings Accounts program once it launches. When that will happen is still not clear. It really will be up to the Texas Comptroller's Office to manage the registration and accounts, and experts tell me it might be before enrollment season, which is January, February. And here's what families can do while we wait.
This is a great time to be doing research. Now, unfortunately, we don't know yet exactly which private schools will be accepting ESA money, but families can still start doing research. The more families can learn about which private schools might have a learning model that suits their kids, find out what's the tuition cost at that private school, how much of that would be covered by the ESA. Those are questions that they can start researching now.
Okay, so school vouchers town hall is going to be happening tonight from 6 to 7 at Vineyard Christian School on Huebner Road. That information is also going to be available in Spanish, and you can head to KSAT.com for a link.
All right, Patty, thank you very much for that. Governor Greg Abbott will be in Kerrville later today to announce funding for long-term flood relief following the July 4th floods. He will join leaders from the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country, Hunt ISD, and other officials and community members for that announcement. Now,
Kerrville leaders are moving ahead with their budget and are looking to raise the property tax rate after the Hill Country floods.
the City Council agreed to start public hearings on a proposed rate increase just over 2% higher than it is right now. That increase is not a done deal yet, but this change lets them go that high to help pay for flood recovery, and it could drop after public comment.
So at first, leaders were worried about raising the taxes, but the budget office said the recovery costs could hit the city's budget hard. The city manager said that a higher rate would help build a fund to handle future disasters. Public hearings start September the 9th with a final vote on September the 23rd.
Please pass SB 1 so no parent sends their child to camp believing they are safe only to face this nightmare. Obvious common sense safety measures were absent. Protocols that should have been in place were ignored. As a result, my daughter was stolen from us.
You just heard from the parents of Camp Mystic campers. They spent hours testifying before Texas lawmakers about last month's deadly flood. Parents shared memories of their daughters and said that they wished Camp Mystic had a better safety plan. So if passed, Senate Bill 1 would require camps in flood-prone areas to have evacuation plans for emergencies like flash floods. Camps must be listed online with a valid license and cannot have cabins in a floodplain in order to renew or get a new license. They would also need operating radios with real-time weather alerts from professional services.
Switching gears now, we got the latest on the trial for R.C. Curtis, who faces capital murder charges in the 2015 death of a 75-year-old Paula Boyd. Yesterday, retired SAPD detective Randall Hines took the stand and spoke about his investigation from 9 years ago. The state talked about how several people used Boyd's stolen credit cards, including Curtis. Then the defense asked why two other men, David Rocha and Frank Hernandez, who also used Boyd's cards, weren't investigated more. The trial continues this afternoon, and we will be live streaming it on all of our digital platforms.
City leaders in Poteet are calling for the termination of 3 police officers. That's according to a news release. The city council made the decision after the police department was evaluated. The review was conducted by Clear Career Professionals. However, it's unclear exactly what they found. The city administrator says that the terminated individuals include the police chief, Bruce Hickman, Lieutenant Noe Rodriguez, and an unidentified sergeant. All 3 are now serving an administrative suspension pending an internal pre-disciplinary review conducted by the city.
We have a KSAT Investigates update for you this morning. The owner of the Northeast Side animal boarding business made his first court appearance this week after being charged with 2 felony assault cases.
Corey Jones was indicted for injury to a child and family assault. A protective order was signed during his court appearance on Tuesday. So earlier this year, Animal Care Services suspended his business permit after investigating allegations that he performed artificial insemination on dogs without a license. Despite his arrest, the city of Windcrest kept paying Jones to board stray cats and dogs for nearly a year.
Jones faces charges after police responded to 2 separate violent incidents, one involving a teenage boy who said Jones attacked him, and the other where Jones' wife reported that he choked her. Jones denies the charges, and his attorney has not commented on the case.
Outside with live cam, it is 5:37, 78 degrees. We've got cloud-free skies for right now. We'll be watching for some rain chances later today. We're also watching the Atlantic, which has two potential waves that could become named storms. We'll show you where they're headed coming up.
The city is facing a big budget shortfall, and they want to hear from you how to get involved at tonight's budget town hall.
Coming up, we're connecting with the council, this time in District 3 with Councilwoman Phyllis Villagran. Coming up.
And right now I'm driving around the northwest side where it looks like we have a part of the highway closed. Now after the break, I will let you know what streets to look out for.
5:44 right now. So there's been a lot of talks about budget recently, but the city's budget shapes the services and the resources that we count on.
City staff told the city council that revenue from property taxes, sales, airports, hotels, and development is growing slower than expected, which could leave the city about $10 million short this year and lead to a deficit of nearly $31 million next year. So the city wants your feedback and questions about the city's plans on spending. The city is holding budget town halls where you can learn about the proposed plan and ask your questions.
You can scan that QR code right there you see at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Get more information about this again tonight. There will be a town hall for Districts 2 and 7 at the locations on your screen, both starting at 6:30 p.m. The city will vote on the budget on September the 18th, and you can attend for free, but you will need to sign up if you want to participate.
Okay, this week on Connect with the Council, I went down to the South Side to chat with District 3 Councilwoman Phyllis Villagran. She is a Providence High School grad and recently won re-election for for a 4-year term. Now, Villagran is a lifelong Spurs fan and has been very active in the ongoing Project Marvel discussions ahead of 2 key council votes later on this morning. She is very aware of recent trends in other major U.S. cities that are building downtown sports venues and developing around them. Villagran knew the time would come where serious discussions would have to be held about the future of the Spurs and keeping them here in San Antonio.
I've always been very clear on where I stand on this issue, and I'm completely confident in the team we have in the city to negotiate a contract. I was never in doubt of Eric Walsh and Ben Gorzel to get me the contract that we need, that can get us the contract. And we've got a great term sheet. Things need to be worked out. I think we're ready to go and take that vote on Thursday, and then let the community know, let the rest of the nation know San Antonio is in and wants their Spurs to stay.
Now we're going to hear more from the Councilwoman next hour on the Project Marvel talks and what could happen if the billion-dollar project fails. And then later this morning on GMSA Plus, we'll talk about District 3, including a big anniversary this year for some famous landmarks on the South Side. And I'll give it away right now. It's the 10-year anniversary of the UNESCO designation. Oh, yeah? I can't believe it's been 10 years for the missions.
Seems like yesterday. Yeah.
So 10 years.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So that's coming up later on.
Cool beans, man. Okay, so outside right now, again, we're looking for some activity later on.
We are. I think the radar will get somewhat active this afternoon, so we'll be looking for some showers and storms and some downpours. Let's start, though, with the tropics, and this is something we've been updating you on all week. And not much has changed. This wave near the island still has a 70% chance of development. Likely does become Fernand, I think, down the line, as it moves in a similar fashion to Aaron, although I think it'll be further off the coast, so maybe fewer impacts. Aaron is just so large that it is bringing lots of issues up and down the East Coast as we speak. Then there is this wave, and I spoke yesterday about the fact that this is a little bit further south, and it could be of greater concern to us. But that said, you look at what's ahead of it, and the conditions aren't great. They aren't really that favorable for further development. Now, this may briefly become a depression, but once it gets further west, it runs into an area where it's not going to necessarily have a lot of reason to thrive. We'll still watch it. And, any of these waves, sometimes they can die down and then get back in the Caribbean and flare back up. So we'll see what happens, but there is nothing imminent, I think, that we need to be concerned about here in Texas. Aaron, though, as I said, a big hurricane, and this is causing flooding along, especially the coast of North Carolina, kind of juts out there, your Outer Banks. But there are tropical storm warnings up and down the East Coast. Winds right now at 105 miles per hour. It's moving north-northeast at 17. And really, by this weekend, this will get out of here, and we will be done with Hurricane Aaron which, again, didn't make landfall, but it's had some pretty significant impacts. Outside right now, 78 degrees at the airport, 75 New Braunfels, 79 Converse, 70 in Bernie, 81 Stinson. It's a slightly warmer morning than yesterday. And here is what we have going on. So there's a bit of a boundary up here. We're getting some development up around Mason and Brady, and then, of course, towards Rock Springs and north of Del Rio, Devils River State natural areas where we've seen some of the heaviest rain this morning. Nothing here around San Antonio. In fact, skies are still clear, but we do have these clouds and this energy just to our north that'll be kind of sinking south today. Now, I will tell you this, the computer models, which we often rely on in these situations, is not doing a great job of figuring this out. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes there's too many intricate pieces and these computers aren't seeing it real well. So I know at noontime it does not show much. I would say there could be more than what we're seeing here on the radar, depending on how this plays out, especially with what we're seeing this morning. We're overperforming a little bit there to our north and west. So it's going to be one of those situations where it's the radar is our best friend, as I like to say. But I think this gets a general idea across that we will see a scattering of showers today. And that will especially be the case during the afternoon. So 90 at noontime, 40% chance of rain, 60% chance later today. Good news here, temperatures will be held down. We think 94 today, 95 tomorrow. Then they do bump back up over the weekend as rain chances go away. And we may even see some more triple digits by early next week. Our Just Ask Justin question this morning is a very random one that was presented to me by my daughter.
Hey.
My 7-year-old daughter asked me yesterday in the car, how many toes does a dog have? And you know what? I didn't know the answer. I had never really thought about it. But how many toes does a typical, and that's an important word, typical, not all dogs have the same amount of toes, but most of them have this number. Is it 16, 18, 20, or 22?
Oh, Lord.
The votes are really spread out here. Go to ksat.com/polls, scan the QR code, weigh in.
See, I miscalculated Bo's feet now because I was hitting him with a 24. Now I'm like, oh, it's not even up there now. So I got to go back and recount.
I think you were giving him some extra toes.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I did. All right, Justin, thanks so much. Let's get on the roadways real quick, see how we're looking. Are we crash-free, Ernie?
It is amazing the questions that your kids will ask in the car sometimes. I can't even with some of these questions. But anyway, that's construction. They're 35 at Martin. Those flashing lights you see in the distance and not really slowing anybody down right now. Just check the cameras a moment ago and nothing to see in the way of accidents right now, 10 at 1604. Of course, the usual construction continues and we'll be mindful of the weather situation throughout the day. Your drive home could be a little tricky depending on the rain situation. But right now, things are looking pretty good.
All right, let's get to photojournalist Alex Gomez. Okay, you were talking about some type of shutdown, and I'm interested to figure out what are you mentioning. So what's going on, man?
Yeah, well, the highway was shut down because of construction on the northwest side, but they are wrapping things up right now. So they have reopened some of the entrance lanes on 1604 eastbound near Hausman. Yeah, that part was shut down from Hausman all the way to Kyle-Seal. So they are reopening. I just got on right after Kyle-Seal, so hopefully the northwest side should be looking better with traffic for our 6 a.m. drivers, Jeff.
Right, that is good news. I know anytime we hear the word shutdown, especially with this kind of commute with people trying to get to and from school, that got a lot of parents on edge, so got that cleared up.
Very good. Okay, more from Alex coming up. Meanwhile, 5:52 right now, 78 degrees outside.
Buc-ee's fans, you better listen up because your favorite snacks coming to a Texas university. When and where you can grab beaver nuggets, jerky, and more without having to leave school. All right, 5:55 right now. We got some good news for our Buc-ee's fans at Texas A&M. No more road trips needed to get your favorite snacks because Texas A&M is the first university in the country to bring Buc-ee's right to campus. Starting August the 20th, the students can pick up those classic treats like the beaver nuggets, jerky, and other snacks, plus the official Buc-ee's merch at 3 on-campus stores.
3?
You heard it, 3. That's how big this place is. That's what I was asking Justin. How big is this place? Okay, so this makes A&M the only place outside of Buc-ee's travel centers where fans can score these iconic snacks. We would lose our mind if they brought a Buc-ee's to Arkansas State University.
And
A&M couldn't get any better.
and lose all the money that I have too. So by the way, the founder of Buc-ee's, Arch Applin III, went to Texas A&M.
Yep.
That would explain probably why that's there. All right, a popular gym chain is now facing a lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission for making it too hard for customers to cancel their memberships. The case targets California-based Fitness International and fitness and sports clubs, the operators behind LA Fitness and other chains. Together, they run over 600 locations with more than 3.7 million members around the country. The FTC says LA Fitness uses complicated cancellation methods more than just requiring in-person or mail cancellations, making it extremely difficult for members to end their contracts.
A lot of places they do that too. We got a well-known global jewelry retailer has found a buyer after filing for bankruptcy for the second time, and we're talking about Claire's. They announced that it will sell most of its North American businesses to private equity firm Ames Watson. Now, the fashion jewelry chain says that the sale is designed to get the most value out of the business, where 18 Claire's stores in the U.S. will close by September the 7th.
All right, we're going to close out this hour right now, but so much more to get to here in the next hour of GMSA.
Escorted out in handcuffs, we got the woman speaking out at Edgewood ISD about student safety, now demanding action. Full story coming your way.
And following the deadly Hill Country floods, if a new bill is passed, would it force Texas camps in flood-prone areas to have evacuation plans? What it means for campers and parents, plus how Governor Abbott is expected to respond when he visits Kerrville later on today.
And our very own photojournalist Alex Gomez on the roadways bringing you the latest coming up in 6.